All right, welcome back. So the first thing we need to do is try to remove these staples. So let's see if we can find the centerfold in this old book. All right, there's our centerfold. Oh, you can see the rust. The rust has eaten through the wrap here. We got that big tear that I pointed out, so I'm gonna kind of shake this off, shake off some of this rust. And the staples may not survive. I've seen rusty staples break. I've seen staples that were really rusty, and as soon as you touch them, they just turned into dust. Where there wasn't any staple left, but the form of a staple was still there. It's kind of weird. All right. And this is so covers. Ooh, yeah, see that's whole spine and stuff. Let's see. We'll do something else. Let's see. Try our pick. See if we can get underneath. Yeah, it looks like that rust is eaten all the way through all the pages, and as I'm moving the staple, all the pages are just basically falling apart. But we're going to see if we can get it out anyway. Yeah, see how this pages are just deteriorating right before our eyes as we try to remove this staple. All right, there we go. All right. We're going to push it through the other side, but like I said, you can see all the paper where the staple ants just came straight out from there, where the rust of the staple is just eaten through every single page and cover of the book. But that is okay, because this gives us a chance to practice on all these things. So again, you can see all that. All right, let's see if we can have any better luck with this top one. I kind of feel like this top one's just gonna break. Let's see what we're gonna do. I know this first page may still be attached. It's still attached a little bit. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can get under it. Oh, okay, got one leg. I thought this was going to be the problem staple. It was really that bottom one. Okay, I don't think that top leg is attached to anything. Let me see if I can find that top leg. I can't even see it. Okay, it's still attached. There it is right there. Oh, it may just come on up. And it did. Okay. Alright, so there's the top. And whatever we do at the bottom, there's the bottom. Alright, so we're going to soak these, so I'm going to get a good image of which is the top, which is the bottom, that we can refer back to. Okay, like I said, you can just see that rust is eating through all these pages. Oh yeah, there's not much left. Okay, so what we're going to do though is move each page aside. You can see that black rust. Okay, so here we are finally at the cover, and there's all of the deteriorated paper from mainly that centerfold. So we're going to throw all this away. Okay, there's one piece of the cover. And like I said earlier, it looks like we've got all the spine here. It's just folded over. Yep. Okay. So stick around and see what we do with this. Alright, put y'all in handheld mode. So I've got the cover and I've pre-wetted it a little bit so I could lay out the spine flat with those pages that were folded over. And since I'm not doing a dry clean on this book, I added some surfactant. So some Triton X, added about 5 drops, and this is my cheap little centrifuge that I bought. Thing is only like $30, brand new, and I have it preset to reach a temperature of around 55 degrees. I mean 55 Celsius, well, degrees Celsius. We're hovering about 47.3, which is probably pretty close. But you want to get that surfactant all mixed up really well in your water. And then I will add to that my calcium hydroxide. All right, we got our cover in here with Triton X. You can see the bubbles and stuff. I'm going to try and hold the cover with my short fingers. That's an orange cover, and I don't think that's orange ink coming up. I think it's just a little bit of the tanning that was here coming up. So, all right, we're gonna let that sit for a few moments and then take it out and then do our second wash. Alright, Conch Fam, so I'm letting this cover soak in this second wash, so try to get all the Triton X out. But I want to show y'all what I'm going to do to dry this. As you know, my house kind of slants that way, and I use just an old gray fold-up table to do all my work on. And this thing is uneven and everything. So what I did is I use Rick's AccuDryer. Now, it usually comes in 1/8 inch pieces, and you can he sends you 2 of them, and you can press them together with screws like this in order to keep your book from shrinking. I found that it's just a little bit too cumbersome, plus like I said, my desk is uneven, so I got him to cut me a couple of 1/4 inch pieces. So what we'll do is we'll lay one down, we'll do paper towels, cover, more paper towels, and then the second piece. And then once we do that, I'll show you what else we'll do. So here we go. This is what I've done. Is these 1/4 inch pieces of acrylic don't flex very much, and hopefully you can see. Whoops. So I've got one piece at the bottom, I've got paper towels, the cover, and then the second piece of acrylic on top. And then I've laid this weight on top of that. So this is similar to the way Paul does his, where he has his piece of granite that he lays on top. And I talked to him, and you know, kind of talked about like how heavy did he think his granite was and such, and he thought about 20-25 pounds. So I bought this 20-pound weight. It was only 30 bucks, free shipping, and it almost fits the acrylic exactly. So like I said, this 1/4 inch does not flex that much, so I don't think I'm going to get any uneven pressure. And then I'm going to follow Paul's technique of pressing for like 5 minutes, changing out paper towels, pressing for 10 minutes, changing out paper towels, 20 minutes, and then 1 hour after that. So stay tuned and we'll see what happens. All right, Conch fam, so here is the Donald Duck book. I did all the tear seals. Y'all have seen me do that before, so I skipped it. I did do extra reinforcement along the spine because it was very tattered and weak whenever we were cleaning it. I think y'all saw it is split almost all the way up, and there's just a little bit of a sliver at the top. So I had to try and form it back together as best as I could. You know, this book, if you were to really conserve it, you would want to do some kind of leaf casting to fill in all those spots and such. Take a look. I haven't trimmed it or anything yet. Jack, why don't you stand over here? Alright, let me see if Jack will move for a minute. Alright, we got Jack to move for a minute. Not sure if he'll stay or not. But here is the book. So this book was really soft, and we got a nice little snap back to it. You can definitely see all the Tengujo showing through on the spine. This book had a lot of wear. We might have lost a little bit of ink. We did see some yellow coming up. It is probably from where all these wrinkles and everything were, where the ink was hurt anyway. But like I said, I need to do all the trimming and stuff. Came out cleaner for sure. You know, we did the Triton X. Interior looks a lot better, and you can see how thick I put on. Did 2 coats or 2 layers of Tengujo, but you know, it does spine folds. We're gonna have to be a little bit careful. I felt like only one layer wasn't going to hold this spine as much as we wanted with all the tears and everything, and trying to rejoin it. Let me move so you can see the back, the black background. You can probably see through. Yeah, you can see how the spine was very weak. So I'm going to go in and we will carefully cut out the main parts. Things like this we'll cut out. We'll cut out this, and I did only like one piece of Tengujo around this area just to save myself some of the cutting. We'll cut around this, and we'll cut around that, and probably leave the others. We'll trim the edges. I reinforced this big split. I reinforced this. I tried to see if it would kind of fold back together, and it almost seemed like a piece was missing. And you can kind of see where, yeah, a little piece is missing right there. A piece did fleck off here, and I was going to rejoin it, but when we got to doing the tear seals, Jack, it's like he knows where the camera is. But when I got to doing the tear seals and started looking for it, I couldn't find it. So I think Jack knocked it off, rolled over it or something. But overall, you know, this book has served its purpose, which was to practice. Oh my God, Jack. And definitely we did that. So, all right, let me rearrange. So yeah, we got a lot of good practice in with this book, with doing tear seals. This is really, really close to what we measured the first time, so I might have pulled this in a little bit too much, but I wanted some paper touching. Excuse me. I wanted some paper touching, and it's only off by like 1 millimeter. So that's, in the end, that's not anything to be concerned about. Those places where I did only one layer Tengujo, you can barely tell. So yeah, all right, so we will do a trim and get ready for the next step, which is this interior wrap. So if you remember this, we still got the rusty staples to deal with. For this rust, we are going to try our Evaporust. We're going to put that onto the book itself. I'm going to wet clean it and everything first, because what a few of us has found is, you know, of course this is liquid and it will cause tide lines. So we want to do a wash first. We may not do like a full aqueous bath. We just may do a spray bottle wash, but that's the plan. And yeah, we'll see if we can get rid of some of this blackness, and then yeah, we'll work on doing some tear seals to the interior cover. As our experiment, we're going to take Evaporust, put a generous amount on the areas that have rust. Then we're going to do a test area. I've got some tide lines here, so I'm just curious. I'm just going to run. Kind of odd the way it just kind of turns white really quick. And I'm of course not a chemist, so we'll have to talk to Dr. Paul, find out what exactly is going on. Then I'm going to take a strip of paper towel here and soak it really well with just regular distilled water, if I can find my spray bottle, which I'm sure Jack knocked off somewhere. Alright, so here's my spray bottle. Soak it. So what we want is this actually to kind of stay wet. I Thank you, Jack. Says 4 hours. And, you know, this is an experiment, so we may not let it sit 4 hours. Because normally we do try to get the wrap as dry as possible, as fast as possible. But in this case, we kind of want it to stay wet for the Evaporust. But I don't want anything adverse to happen to the wrap. You know, again, this is experiment, so, you know, we're going to see what comes out of it. So, using our Evaporust, I left the paper towels underneath wet. I am going to cover it, but I'm not going to try to actively dry it or anything. So I'm just going to lay a paper towel here, and I think I'm going to use my lighter piece of acrylic, so my 1/8 inch, and not do any pressure or anything, and just let it sit there, and we'll check on it in a couple hours. All right, so we've got some good news and some bad news. Good news is we got Jack up here, but no. Bad news first. I mean, we did kind of get the result that we were looking for. So good news is we did reduce the rust a lot with this process, and the bad news is we ended up with these white stains around here, and I've actually washed this a couple times. One wash to just get rid of get rid of any remaining Evaporust, and then the second wash was to kind of see if I could do anything about these white stains. I've tried you can kind of scrape it a little bit, but I think what I'm doing is actually taking some paper away. Also, we ended up with a lot of tide lines. You can see this tide line here from where the Evaporust was. Done this experiment with modern books or Copper Age books from the 80s with rust, and I didn't see any of this, but of course I wasn't dealing with a really tan book. And I reached out to a friend of mine who had also been experimenting with this Evaporust, and he said he had gotten the same results. I did end up leaving it longer than 4 hours. That was kind of my mistake. The staples turned out amazing, by the way. But yeah, so I don't know. We're gonna have to do some more experimenting. Also, you see that basically here is where the bottom staple is, and you see this large split. I mean, we could, you know, mend this. We could put it back together and such with Tengujo here, and do a lot of the mending. But really, this needs to be leaf casted. You can do like Tengujo on one side, then flip the whole thing over, do Tengujo on the other side, and then glue the two pieces of Tengujo together, and that'd be strong enough to run a staple through. But, you know, that's not maybe really the exact result you're looking for. Really needs to be leaf casted. So what we're going to do is we're going to put aside Mr. Donald Duck for the time being until we decide if we want to practice some leaf casting or something. And this would be a great book because we have these holes throughout the entire book that we could practice leaf casting with. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to end this project on the Donald Duck here and just put it away for a while and revisit it. So that's it for that. We're going to move on to the next practice book. But with that, I'm going to say peace, love, and comics. Bye, y'all.